Hi everyone, it's Jessica with Nooks and Bloom. I am renovating furniture I found for free. It's in not the best shape, and I'm going to use it for our new bedroom here in our new home. Let me show you the first thing I'm going to do. Well, first of all, I glued one of the corners of the mirror that was coming off the leg of the dresser, and I just used Titebond, which I love. It holds up super strong, and I clamped it overnight, and it did a pretty good job. But what I'm focusing on now is relocating hardware holes, because I don't like necessarily the existing hardware. It's kind of outdated, so I'm going to put something fresh and more modern on there, but I need to take care of some of the excess hardware holes that will be left over. This dresser has several drawers, as you can see, but this is one big drawer, and it has 1, 2, 3 pieces of hardware. So it makes it look, I guess this was the design, it makes it look like it has 3 little drawers. But I'm going to streamline things a little bit and make it more modern. The first step is going to be obviously removing your hardware. And I'm going to remove all the hardware. That is always good practice when you're going to paint a piece. It's just easier to paint the drawer front. And also you can change your hardware, or you can refresh, like maybe wax or paint your existing hardware if you want to use the existing hardware. And real easy, what we're going to do is use wood filler. I like working with Elmer's. This one is really old, but it still works. Okay, so I'm just going to fill in these 2 holes. That's it, you guys. Just use a spatula or putty knife and get it pretty well stuffed in there. It could be, depending on the size of the hole, that you will need 2 applications, but afterwards we are going to sand this down really smoothly. I like to leave a little bit sometimes of an elevation over it, so it hides the circular pattern of the hole, and then I just come over it and sand it down after. That's it. So just gonna finish this off, and then when it dries, it takes a little bit to dry, and there's some color changing wood fillers out there which are really good, because then you know when it's dried based on the color. But you can also just wait the time, which is probably not too long for something like this, not even an hour.
Okay guys, I have been sanding this piece for what seems like forever. I'm using a low grit, 60 or 80 grit, I can't remember. And then once it's all nice and down to the raw wood, I'm gonna come back over it with the high grit 400 or 800 grit to really give it a nice smooth finish. I am getting everything down to the raw wood because I want to start fresh with this piece. As I decide what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to continue working on this sanding.
I remember when we were staring a photo. Don't forget the way you look me in the eyes.
So this is looking really nice. I'm really happy with the results. This is a very orangey pigment of this aged wood. So I have to be careful. If I stain it, it might really pull out that orange, and that's not what I'm aiming for. So I'm starting to think I might do a white wash using paint to kind of keep the wood grain and keep the light color. I'm going to still think about it as I work through this, and I'm going to attempt to sand the rest of the dresser. So I have finished sanding all this dresser. It took me quite a bit of time. That is the bulk of your work whenever you're going to do like a more raw look where you really want to expose the wood. It's going to take a lot of patience to, with your sander, get over all those spots. And so let me show you a little bit of what it looks like. See how pretty the wood came out once I sanded everything down? I really like how this is looking, but there is a pigmentation of orange, like I said before, and I am going to do a paint wash look using some weathered white paint. It's a white color, it's an off-white that I really like, and I'm going to show you how I do that to kind of preserve this raw look, but also get a little bit of that orange tone down. So let's get started. So to make my paint wash, I have my weathered white paint, which is a chalk paint that I made. It's kind of like a linen white is how I describe it. It's not very stark, but it's really pretty. I have a little bowl, plastic bowl for mixing. I have some water, and I have a spoon. And I'm going to use my chippy brush for application. So basically, I take a little bit of paint and put it into my little dish here. I'm just going to start with a small amount. I'm going to add some water, and that is the trick to making your wash, is adding water to thin things out. You can play with the consistency. Obviously, the more paint you add, the more pronounced the paint appearance is going to be. And the more thinned out, the more translucent it's going to be over your wood. So I might add a little, this is a little bit too watery. I might add a little bit more paint. So far, this is about 4 tablespoons to maybe, I don't know, a 1/4 cup of water. I'm just guesstimating. Okay, so let me show you what this will look like. And I have paper towels on hand because I can use those to also thin things out more. Okay, so let's start applying this and see what it looks like. So just going to dip this in, this brush, and just apply that. Okay, that looks really pretty. And let me show you, the wood is going to start absorbing this, but I don't want it so thick, the coverage. So I'm going to take my paper towel and just wipe it back. Look how gorgeous that looks, you guys. It's bringing out a beautiful combination of colors with the kind of orangey pink background from the wood, and combining that with this white. And it's just making it like really soothing and artistic and a little bit of a coastal aesthetic or a farmhouse aesthetic. I just love that. And if you don't like how light it is, if you want more of the wood color, you can just spray with your misting bottle over it and thin it out even more before it dries. So that looks really beautiful. I like that a lot. I'm going to keep going, working over all this furniture, and I'll be back to show you more. So what I'm going to do to seal the finish is I'm going to apply some white liming wax, and I love this brand by Chalk Mountain, and it lasts a long time, these little tubs. I'm just going to use paper towels. I'm using this instead of clear wax because the clear wax might remove some of this white smoky aesthetic, but the white liming wax will actually complement it really well. And the wax, once it's cured, will provide a very good protective layer. Pretty water resistant. I'm not saying waterproof. You'll see if any water drops on it once it's cured, that it'll just kind of like bead up, and it'll be more resistant to like traffic on it and getting marks on it. So it's a good way to just preserve a little bit your painted surface and the raw wood. It's an optional step. You could also do a clear coat, but I really like how subtle and pretty this white wax adds like coastal character to this look we're going for. So I'm just going to apply this everywhere. It does take a little time and patience to rub it in, but it's all going to be worth it. I want to show you the hardware that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love finding new hardware there because they have such great variety and at affordable prices. So I got these really pretty poles. They're kind of a little bit rustic looking, and I like that they're white to go with this calmer palette. What I decided, because I did a wash here and I didn't fully paint, I'm still seeing the holes, the original holes. So I just decided to get new poles for these existing holes. And the other ones where I did wood fill the second hole, it's just slightly visible. So I'm not gonna worry about that. And for this single hole, look what I got. These are so beautiful. These round knobs with like this, I don't know, like this rock look with like a little bit of black and navy in there, and then also the white to complement with the other white poles. So this is gonna look so amazing. I can't wait to show you guys how this is all gonna come together. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video and learning a little bit with me. I'm going to now show you the final reveal of this beautiful dresser. I can't wait to get it set up in our room. Be sure to subscribe. I'm going to have a lot more fun furniture renovation tutorials as well as home decor tutorials. See you next time.